Reflections on the Good News of Jesus Christ for the first Sunday of Advent, according to Mark. Jesus said to his disciples, "Be watchful, be alert. You do not know when the time will come. It is like a man traveling abroad. He leaves home and places his servants in charge, each with his own work, and orders the gatekeeper to be on the watch. Watch, therefore. You do not know when the Lord of the house is coming, whether in the evening, or at midnight, or at cockcrow, or in the morning. May he not come suddenly and find you sleeping. What I say to you, I say to all, watch." The good news of the Lord. It is a rushed and busy season. On top of the usual demands of daily life, we add the gifts to be chosen and bought, wrapped and sent, perhaps to distant places, or stashed in hidden places, and the many letters to be written or cards to be mailed. There are Christmas pageants for the children and Christmas parties for all. Every year, the rush seems to increase until we become more concerned about surviving the holidays rather than celebrating them. Perhaps one of the hardest things we could do, maybe one of the last things we want to do, is to spend time like this, when there are so many other things that call to us. But God also calls to us to slow down, to wait, to waste time, to take a break with God. Congratulations. Out of the noise of so many other voices, in these few minutes, you may even hear and respond to the small, still voice of God. To slow down is the first step in waiting. And waiting is something that almost no one I've ever known, including myself, enjoys doing. We consider it a waste of time. And in our society, wasting time is one of the few sins left. How often have we heard the message, or said it ourselves, "Get going, you're wasting time." Waiting is a desert, a nothingness, a vast wasteland between where you are and where you want to go. The assumption is that while you are waiting, nothing is happening. But of course, farmers know better. If you have ever planted seeds in the ground, you know better. While nothing is happening on the surface, a great deal is happening underground, out of sight. Teachers know better. They might look out on a room full of students and see nothing happening on the surface, but they have hope that something is happening under the surface, out of sight. Teachers are people of hope. Mothers know better. They must wait 9 long months to give birth, a waiting time that is filled with life and growth and activity. These lessons are obvious and yet so easily forgotten. Witness the traffic that will not stop even when the light is red. Witness the impatience and irritation on the faces of those who are caught in long lines at the checkout counter or the post office. Waiting is something that, for many of us, is empty time, wasted time, to be avoided whenever possible. Time is money, or so we say, and we do not want to lose either one. And so we drink instant coffee, send messages by the latest communication gadget, gulp down fast food for dinner, and pat ourselves on the back when we have managed to do three things at once. We do not want to wait. Why is it so difficult? Waiting is difficult because we are so fearful. We are afraid of what might come of the tests we took at school as we wait for the grades, or the tests we took at the doctor's office as we wait for the results. We are afraid of what our parents might say when we ask for that special favor, or what our youngsters might say when they nervously ask if they can speak with us. We are afraid of the evaluation we are to get on the job, or of the competition that may cost us our job. We are afraid of yesterday and what we did or did not do with it. We're afraid of tomorrow and what it might or might not bring. We are afraid of today, of not getting everything done that we absolutely must get done. We look to the future, and what we feel is fear. So let's not wait. Let's get it over with. We are fearful in other ways, fearful of other people, particularly of the possibility of violence, which, as the saying goes, has become as American as apple pie. We are afraid of ourselves, of our own inner feelings that we cannot always control or even understand. And all of these different reasons for fear, and many more, make it harder to wait. Fear makes us want to get away from where we are. And that may include trying to get away from ourselves. And if the fear is great enough, it can even lead to destructive actions, aggressive and hostile actions, in our attempts to do away with the source of fear. We become aggressive and hostile when we run out of patience, presuming we had any patience in the first place. Patience is one of the first victims of fear. Because we are impatient people, even fearful people, we find it hard to wait. What do you fear that may make it difficult for you to wait upon God? Because in Advent, we are called to wait. Why? What could God possibly have in mind? Doesn't God know how busy we are? But what is it that we are waiting for in these Advent days? For Santa Claus? For the holidays to be over and done? Some people do. The holidays are not enjoyable for everyone, especially for those who are suffering and who may survive from Thanksgiving to New Year's with clenched teeth. Or do we perhaps wait for all of those things that we fear to be somehow driven away? In our fearful waiting, we will hear in this Advent season the same words that were spoken to Zechariah and Elizabeth, to Anna and Simeon, to Joseph and Mary, and to so many others in Scripture, words that are also spoken to us. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. God is doing something new, something unexpected, something beyond your wildest expectations in your midst, in your very life. Now, can you and I believe that? Can we believe that even now, and however much we may doubt it, God is doing something new and unexpected and even wonderful in our lives? Because that, I believe, is what we're really called to wait for in this season of Advent. We're not waiting for Jesus to be born. That happened a long time ago, although we will celebrate his birthday, of course. And we're not really waiting for his final coming. Yes, that will happen at some point in the future, but I'm willing to bet that it won't happen this week. Would anyone like to take me up on that bet? No. What I believe we're really called to watch and wait for are the ways that the Spirit of Jesus is trying to get into our lives and form our lives, much as the potter forms the clay, as Isaiah told us. That's happening today and every day. If there were nothing worth waiting for, then waiting would indeed be silly. But the birth of Christ into this world and into our hearts is well worth the wait. Yes, we know that his birth has happened already, but also, in a surprising way, it has not happened at all. We are still mean to our neighbors. We still hide truth from those who love us. We still envy and lust after what is not ours. There is horrendous evil all around us in this 21st century, much as there was when Jesus was born in the first century. As every act of violence, war, or hatred painfully reminds us, we need the birth of Jesus into our hearts, into our world. And so we eagerly wait in these days of Advent. As we heard Jesus tell us in the gospel, be alert, watch for it. And if you make time in this Advent season, even for only a few minutes each day to do that, to watch, to wait, you may not have to wait until Christmas to receive a pretty wonderful gift. You see, God is already waiting for you. Thanks for listening.